Well, good morning. This is Koshi George, CPA here. This is my fifth video. And those of you watching me from wherever you're watching, well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or good night. You know, I'm just reminded, as I wanted to do this fifth video and talk to you, I was reminded of a song by Simon and Garfunkel, which goes, "Hello, darkness, my old friend. I will come to talk to you again." What I have been sharing over the last 4 videos is not a happy story. It's a story, it's a series of incidents that I have shared about until now. There's lots over 4 years when you have faced bullying, racism, harassment, and threats to you and your family. There's a lot, right? It's virtually impossible to unpack all of it in a 5-minute video. But still, I feel this tremendous need to talk about it because I'm seeing other Asian Indians also suffering, and many of them are suffering in silence about bullying and harassment in America. I never imagined it would ever happen to me. I was busy in my profession, I was busy in my life with my family until this thing happened, right? And we've been wallowing in this. We are not the kind of people who keep quiet. We have obtained a restraining order against this fellow. We have done a lot of things to be able to defend ourselves, to stay on as Americans when we were being called foreigners. The police used to come at my request, and then they would talk to this bully, and the bully would say, "Oh, they're foreigners." We were not. We were American citizens. Or he would play loud music by Freddie Mercury and say, "Another one bites the dust, another one bites the dust." Don't get me wrong. I do sing. I am very fond of all kinds of music. In fact, I myself have done 4,900 plus songs on the Smule app. Why did I do it? To emphasize myself as an American, because I grew up in India listening to English music and to all kinds of music. Whatever was contemporary at that time, in whether it was the 70s or 80s, we knew it all in India. And I love singing, so I sang. But what is told to the police is they are foreigners. They don't know our culture, that is the American culture. And so that's why they complain against me. I mean, that's the bully talking. How wrong. And so I have done many things on social media to emphasize who I am. And gradually I realized that more and more I need to do this. Then I came across this person called Vivek Ramaswamy, who stood for the US presidency. And of course he lost. He lost to Mr. Donald Trump. But he's there at the reckoning, right? He could be still a president in 10 years from now. Maybe at that time Indians will experience a non-bullying environment. Who knows? Or maybe when Mr. J.D. Vance becomes the president and his wife is the vice president, the bullying of Indians will stop. I do not know. I hope it stopped now for us. But be that as it may, I'm a professional accountant. I have my own CPA practice to attend to, and I'm entering the tax season. Thankfully, we have good team members who are taking care of things, and I still feel, as soon as I finish this video presentation, I'll go back to my work. And this year, 2025, we are very determined and we are very bold to come out into the open, just like Vivek Ramaswamy does, and talk. Because you know what? We Indians are being taken, as Indian Americans here in the United States, what I find, and this is my own experience and my own opinion, is we are being taken for a ride. We're not like other communities who have expression. If you go to the churches, anywhere else, Indians, we are, maybe that's how we have been wired, to be scholastic, to be hardworking, to become doctors, engineers, CPAs, lawyers, and then we mind our own business, right? We don't, and I think to some extent that is wrong. We need to be more engaged because we grew up in India. It's a great country. We have a beautiful system there. That's why we are all here. The reason why many Indians are in America, educated Indians, especially I came here in the late 90s, are here because of the good education that India gave us. And then we are here to, this is an immigrant nation. My wife and I, my daughter and we have been told to get out of this country, go back to India, and what are your buffaloes? No, this America is my country. We are American citizens. But we face these kind of things, right? And it's so sad that we are treated this way, and we have to spend money on lawsuits to to clear our names of all kinds of ridiculous allegations, and you lose money, right? And in my case, I have seen this bully doing this to other people, and it is when he did it to my daughter, threatened her, that I decided enough is enough and I need to stand up. In the past, in our neighborhood, people have fled. I mean, one of my most recent recollections is during the year 2017, in the month of October, a Vietnamese American gentleman and his wife, they were working for Adobe Systems. They were data scientists. They were Vietnamese Americans. They were being subjected to this kind of bullying by, they were homeowners here in my neighborhood, just 5 minutes walk, less than 5 minutes walk. They were being bullied. They couldn't take it any longer. And before that gentleman left, he knocked at our door and he came to say goodbye. I was busy with some client work, and I happened to be working from home that day. And I was on a call, and I saw him. I said bye, but I looked into his eyes and I saw deep-seated sadness and fear. I couldn't place it. I knew he was being troubled by the bully, but you know what? Like everybody else, we mind our own business. And I expected him to take it up with the authorities and tell the authorities that he's being bullied. He and his wife and his infant children, by the way. But they sold their house in desperation and they fled. When my daughter was, and similarly, many other people, some of them were renters or homeowners over here, they too gave up their leases and they fled. They were Indians, they were East Europeans, there were other people, there were Chinese people who got desperate. I know another family who sold their house in sheer desperation because of a lot of things that were happening. I don't want to go into details, but I know the details. And they were being harassed because of their Asian origin. They were not Asian Indian, they were Asian American, Chinese, or Asian Taiwanese, or Asian Singaporean. So many of these stories. It's sad that these people are all being bullied. When it happened to my own daughter in the year 2021, in the month of February, my daughter was standing outside, not far from where I'm standing right now, in my backyard. And she was taking pictures for a school project. And this fellow brought his SUV right up to her, stared her down, and raised the engine. My daughter got frightened and she ran inside the house and came upstairs. This is COVID time. And she said, "Dad, so-and-so is scaring me." My daughter is a very brave kid. I'm a academician kind of a guy. That's why I'm involved even with higher education, academics and credentialing work in the United States. I love academics. I love writing. I love singing. I love cooking. I like talking to people. I love reading a lot. That's me. And my daughter, actually the first person in our family for generations, who happens to be a sports person. She loves sports. She loves swimming. She loves swimming even on the high seas, guys. And she loves surfing. She loves water polo, and she loves roller skating. This is my daughter, who's do all these things, and I used to just be so happy. I said, well, she sings also, but I was very happy to see my child being a sports person, because her great-grandfather was a horseman. And I said, my God, it's amazing how genes go. My dad was a professional accountant. I'm a professional accountant. My sister is a professional accountant. And here we have my daughter, who is a sports person. I was thrilled. Gradually, and this is during her preteen years, okay? Gradually, my child started withdrawing into a shell, because I was being threatened. My wife was being threatened. My wife was in emergency because of the shocks from this. And we've been telling these things to our council members. We've been telling this to the mayor. We've been telling this to every successive mayor. We've been telling, but no action is ever taken. Finally, we had to get a restraining order. We thought that would solve the problem. No, it didn't. It didn't. It only got worse, because then he started filing. The moment we filed a restraining order and we got it, he started filing spurious lawsuits against us. Not 1, 2, 3, kept on inundating us so that we would be quiet. I saw the game. I'm a forensic accountant. I can understand patterns of behavior when I see one. Been in this industry for well over 30 years. In India, in the Middle East, here in the United States, and in my own practice, I can understand what's going on. And I said, my God, this is horrible. And worst of all, my daughter, who's a wonderful kid, was kind of going into a shell. By the way, she stopped playing water polo. She's not even interested in swimming. I wish she would be. Many things. Her friends stopped coming to our house because this fellow was threatening. We, in fact, even left our home. We wanted to sell our home and we wanted to move. We moved actually. We moved to an Airbnb we thought we would be there for a month and then we'll sell our house and then we move on. No, it turned out that we stayed in that Airbnb for a year. And then finally we ran out of money. And so we came back to our house. Our house was empty for a year. We were paying mortgage and property tax empty. And this guy giving a lot of trouble and we were trying to sell the house. He would trouble the people who would come to buy the house. He would put nails on our driveway, do all kinds of mischief, chase away the people who are coming, engage into conversations with prospects, talk negative things about our home. Our home's a beautiful home, but all kinds of negative things were being said. All kinds of negative complaints were being made to the city of San Jose. This was all meant to frustrate us because he has seen over the years that his bullying has had effect on Asian people. You see, people would get scared. Like I said, people would surrender their leases and leave. One of the persons who was renting was a former general counsel for San Jose Sharks. That wonderful lady, she's a lawyer. She got scared because she has 2 small infant children. She and her husband were frightened. She and her husband actually, they did a wonderful thing before they left. They said, Koshi, we're going to document every evidence of all that is being done to you and to us. And we're going to give it to the police captain. So the police captain at that time, we had him over. He came and sat in our living room and we presented, this other gentleman who was a tenant of one of the homeowners over here, he and we presented a 15-20 page detailed document. Okay, but nothing was done about it. This is way back in 2022. So here I am standing as an Indian American telling you these stories. Why am I telling you these stories? The reason I'm telling you is, look guys, we have all stayed quiet for too long. And by staying quiet, we're harming ourselves. You have to keep telling your council member, you have to keep telling the mayor, you have to keep telling different authorities. I have even gone up to the Civil Rights Department in California. I have gone up to the Attorney General. I've told, but nobody does anything. You know why? I'll tell you the fundamental reason why. The fundamental reason why is because we Indians are not proactive in society. And the few Indians who become Indian American politicians, those guys are useless. The moment they get their vote, they are on to please other people and move higher. They won't attend to you. So the onus falls on people like you and me to stand up, just like Vivek Ramaswamy stands up and assert yourself. Assert yourself as an Indian American. Don't just think that, somebody is white or somebody is of any other complexion, I need to be frightened of him. We shouldn't be. India was under colonial rule up to 1947 for 300 years. Yes, we have genes in us that, we were ruled by colonials. But I grew up in free India. I grew up in a great India. I had great education from the United States, from India. I came here with a master's degree and a professional degree. And I came here, I further studied, I became a CPA, I took further a few other licenses as well. The fact of the matter is that we are qualified, educated people. And we shouldn't take this kind of crap lying low. We shouldn't let our children be bullied. And for all of these things to happen, the answer is not hiring lawyers and fighting lawsuits for you and paying them, getting your funds depleted. That's not the answer. The answer is we need to count in society. And that can only happen if our own Indian associations, I'm a Malayali, I'm from Kerala, India. We have Malayali associations over here. We have Bengali associations over here. We have Telugu associations because India is a country that is made up of 30 different states. Each state has its own language, each state has its own culture. So everybody, let me tell you, as a CP, I have seen people from all across India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, over here. And some of them are my clients. And I know that everybody is here. And America is a great country, don't get me wrong. I'm an American, I'm proud of being an American. I'm a proud American. But I know that I'm an Indian American and I can be bullied. My wife can be bullied. My daughter can be bullied. And subjected to hate crimes, and nobody does anything about it. I am a person who has actually gone and given a testimony to the district attorney's office. Yet guess what? They treat it as misdemeanors by this fellow and not as a hate crime. Why? Because I'm not white. I hate saying these kind of things because I don't see color. I know we are all human beings. When somebody cuts here, I bleed red. So does a white person. So does a black person. So does a yellow person. So does a red person. We're all human beings. What is this external skin pigmentation? It's just skin pigmentation. That's the way I grew up in India. I don't see color. I would never tell anybody to get out of here. Who What right do I have to tell anybody to get out of the United States, right? So this is the kind of situation that we've been dealing. It's been frustrating me functioning in my profession. It's been frustrating me to grow in my profession. I feel bad for the clients I could not attend because there were years when I was anxious and worried because my wife was affected, my child was affected. Today my child, I'm telling you, I'm so proud to declare that my wife, my daughter may not be playing water polo anymore. She's not swimming. She's not into a lot of things that I would have loved to see her blossom into. Maybe now I have to wait till she has a family and she has children who would become sports persons, and they will of course be Americans. Well, the dream of seeing my child as a sports person is gone. That's okay. Stuff happens. But I definitely don't want to continue to be bullied, neither my wife nor my daughter. We want to live, be able to live without being afflicted by all this. And that's the reason why I'm coming out and telling people that, guys, I don't need to keep doing more and more videos about all the stuff that this person has done to us. In fact, while I'm talking to you, I can hear him passing by. So that rumbling noise is him. He's taking his garbage bins out for tomorrow, and then there'll be another drama on that. Anyways, happens. We have to learn to brush aside these things and stay bold. I have seen too many Indians being very subdued and quiet when they're bullied and heckled. We shouldn't be like that. We should be strong. We should be strong people. We have values. We've come to the United States of America with values, right? And we should not forget that. We should not live in the United States thinking about India. India is the country where we were born. We have citizens of the United States. We have to contribute here. We have to grow over here. That's the most important thing, right? Not to be afraid of people who harm us. So I've been thinking, I don't want to do any more videos. We will face our situations boldly and strongly. I have taught my daughter to be bold and strong. I've taught my wife to be bold and strong, and we are strong. One day, all this will clear out. All this will clear out. Every lie that has been spoken about us and documented in the courts by this fellow will all go. It'll all go. We are not here to take revenge. I had some Indians telling me who are in Texas and in Florida, buy a gun and show him. I said, no. I believe in nonviolence. I'm a nonviolent person. I come from a family which is a military background back in India, and even law and administration for 300 years. My own first cousin's husband was a lieutenant general in the Indian Army before he passed away. So, and I have a lot of friends from the Indian Army. My own cousin actually is a colonel in the United States Air Force. He is shocked at what is being done to us. I work with a lot of ex-Army people, Navy people, Marine Corps personnel in the area of higher education here in the United States. They are shocked at what is being done to us. So these are some factual realities, and when they come, you face them boldly. I think I've spoken a lot, and I think I just want to kind of taper off this so that I don't keep on. Some people may think that I sound like a broken record. No, the only reason I'm out here on social media singing or writing, I have a lot of things to do. But like any other busy professional, I'm a busy person. But I feel a social responsibility to tell these things that nobody else should suffer. Not about 10 minutes away from where I live, here in District 10 of Almaden Valley, I heard from another wonderful Indian gentleman saying that, Mr. George, I am being threatened similarly like you by another white American. It's very sad. I told him to stay strong. I empowered him. I said, be strong, be bold. Talk to your council member, talk to your mayor, tell them that this is happening. Because the more and more we emphasize ourselves as Indian Americans in American society, we will matter. We will count. And we should count. We are among the people who are actually contributing towards the development in many ways in American society. I can tell you for a fact that we are one of the most prodigious people, one of the best gifts to the United States. Everybody coming here has chances to blossom and develop, and it's so wonderful to see that. I see Chinese Americans, I see Polish Americans, Russian Americans, and they're all excited to be part of a democracy. Some of these people are coming from communist countries, right? It is amazing to see how privileged and wonderfully they feel about being a part of a democracy, that their voice counts. So I want my voice to count. I don't want to be just dismissed just because of the color of my skin. Martin Luther King Jr. had to stand up and fight in the 60s to make black Americans count. The same story with Hispanic people. There have been, there are so many, there's a Chavez, there's so many leaders who have come forward during the time when their families migrated to the United States to stand up for Hispanic people. Mahatma Gandhi stood up in South Africa for Indians, right? And people of Indian origin, or Indian subcontinent origin over there, who were being troubled by apartheid. What I'm facing is nothing short of apartheid here in the United States, in a microcosmic way. America is a great country. I have great friends among Caucasian people, wonderful people. I have great friends among MD. I'm proud of that. The fact that I speak about 8 or 9 languages, and I'm excited to learn the next language. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish. We should, as Indian American, my point is, as Indian Americans, we must assimilate more and more into American society. That's when the law enforcement, that's when even the courts will take you seriously. Otherwise, they'll say, go sit down. It has happened to me. I felt slighted at times in the court when I'm representing myself proper in certain cases. The judges don't care. They say, go get a lawyer. Good God, I have seen 49 lawyers, okay? From the time this thing has started, from Burlingame in Northern California all the way to Southern California. 49 lawyers, either by in person or over the phone or via email or via Zoom. And several of them, I would say maybe about 15% or 20% of them know this character who is bullying us. And they said, you know what, Mr. George, we know this guy. We know what he does. We're sorry for you, but we don't want to represent you because we know there's no money in it for them. Okay, so this is the predicament. And so the lawyers that we hire, they are shot down. On some pretext or the other, he'll find reasons to make my own lawyers defendants in those cases. It's so hard. The whole thing is to destroy me and my wife and my daughter. It won't happen. That's the strength and the courage with which I want to leave you. That, sometimes there are fights which we don't enjoy, but we got to stay in the fight. We got to stay strong. Okay? And someday I'll come back. This is my last video, by the way. This is the 5th and the last video. Someday I'll come back to tell you, yes, we got justice. The fellow who is troubling us has been taken to task, either by the California Bar Association or by the district attorney of our county or by somebody else in authority will say, stop it. So with that hope, let me leave you with that hope. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for, taking a few minutes of your time to talk to me. This is a video that's gone beyond 5 minutes, and I apologize, but this is the last one. I'm done. I don't have to keep doing this. I am encouraged. I'm pumped up. My wife and daughter are. We are not the same people what we went through in 4 years in the past. This is 2025. We don't know how long our tragedy will carry on, but we are staying strong. We are bold, brown Indian Americans, and we are proud of our heritage. We are proud of our skin color. Goodbye.